Hey, I'm excited. Listen, this is definitely taking me all the way back. I have not did a virtual show in a long time because we normally have our audience. But tonight's a special night. Thank God for tonight. This is the ending of the long month of March where we've um celebrated 5 years with the Herpreneur Network. Go ahead and like, tag, and share. If you can see me, say, Dr. Nikki, I can see you. Come on. Want to first of all get a shout out to Glorified Cosmetics, Chandrika Reed, for always making sure I look very smithy with the face features, and she's our sponsor for the show. Want to give a shout out to Jeremiah Ziegler. He is one of the sponsors with State Farm for those who are looking for life insurance. Listen, if you're looking for what you want to do with your 401k plan, and you need auto insurance, whatever you need, listen, State Farm is here for it. Shout out to him. Let me know if you're interested in and you needed some life insurance. So let's go ahead and have fun. Tonight's going to be a very different night. This 1 hour power is going to be bringing in different ambassadors, executive teams, those who have been with us, some of them since the beginning, and we're gonna have a good time tonight, just seeing what the girls are up to and what they got going on. But in the meantime, we're gonna be doing some giveaways. We're gonna have fun tonight because we want to be intentional with what God has for us. So take a moment to go ahead and let me know you're watching. Let me know you have shared this live. It's going to be amazing. Also, let me know what city and state you are rocking from. What city and state are you in? What are you doing? What we doing? What we doing? Where you at? Go ahead and put it in the chat. What city and state you are watching, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm gonna have Takima go ahead and do the intro one more time, and then we'll go ahead and bring in some of my guests for tonight. Take it away, Takima. We are back, guys. Listen. So for the last 5 years, God has allowed us to create a amazing network. One of the, everybody always asking me, what is the secret to the sauce for the Herpreneur Network? The secret to my sauce, I got to be honest. I will honestly say it ain't about me. I would say that's the secret to the sauce. It takes a whole team to pull off an amazing network that we have created. I can't do it all. Dr. Joe, our president, can't do it all. Apostle Alicia, Dr. House can't do it all. Queen Marge can't do it all. The Herpreneurs can't do it all. It takes a group of us to come together to pull this network off. And that's what have happened. I have connected with some amazing women who's doing some amazing things. They got their own things going on. We all got our own things going on. But we're making it happen because we love God first. We love God first. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in some of my girls. I see Apostle Alicia. She's here. Let's bring her in. Look at her getting herself together. Apostle, what are you doing? Can y'all hear Apostle? I can't hear you, Apostle. Can y'all hear her? I can't hear you. No, we got to hear Apostle's voice. She did all that talking, trying to prep her. We can't even hear her. Okay, while Apostle working on her sound, let me go ahead and bring in Dr. House. Can you hear me, Dr. House?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Take away the frame. And then I'm gonna bring in. Oh no. Let's take in Michelle Bonner. She's here as well. Okay, Michelle, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Apostle, what's up? No. Remove yourself and come back, Apostle. We got to make this work. And then y'all going through the season. I don't know if I'm having menopause. I don't know what's going on. I am over here about to fall out. I've been sweating all day. Okay, Angela House, Dr. Angela House, hi. Michelle Monteburner, hi. How y'all doing? Happy to have some of these amazing, beautiful herbacers on the set tonight. While Apostle trying to figure some stuff out, I'm gonna remove her and let her figure this out. Yes, thank you. I want to make sure my Apostle looking good now. I'm gonna jump to Angela House. Hi, Angela. How are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. How's everybody doing today? You, Dr. Nikki?
We're fabulous. Excited to have you on the Convo. It's been a long time since you came on the show.
Yes, it is.
So, we have to know how to pivot. I was going to have a special guest to come in the studio, and we had a storm here in Montgomery. And I said, let me just go ahead and call on some of these ambassadors. And I thank God for the willingness to say, yes, I'll jump on. I think tonight's going to be amazing. So let's get into it. So, Angela, you was one of the founding members.
Yes.
How has the it's girl, listen, I'm gonna let her tell her story. I ain't gonna say nothing. So go ahead, because you and Michelle got kindred spirits, honey. Y'all in these don't do messy besses and don't do drunk and don't do women like that. Come on now. I got the right ones tonight. Lord help me tonight.
So for those of you that don't know my particular story, I have known Dr. Nikki for years, 20 plus years. And she calls me up one night and she says, I've got this new venture for us. And I was like, I don't want to hear
it. Because I don't had 100 vendors.
We don't have 100 business ventures. I was like, I don't want to hear it. She said, no, this is different. This is different. I was like, okay, let me hear it. She started telling me about this woman's network. I was like, let me stop you right there. No, I don't do women. I don't do messy Bessie. I don't have time for the drama. I said, it's going to make me fall off the cross. I cannot do this. She said, I just need you to think about it. I was like, I already thunk about it and I'm not doing it. Well, she said, okay. She hung with the phone. I was good. She called me back like 2 days later. Did you have time to think about it? I said, didn't I tell you I thunk about it? She said, you thunk, but you didn't think. So I said, what do you want from me? She said, you don't even have to stay. I just need you to help me get it up from the ground. Help me put the administrative part together. You don't have to deal with the women. You're not going to have to do none of that. I just need you. And when we get everything settled, you can walk away. I was like, okay, only because it's you. So that wasn't quite the truth because I did have to deal with the women. Because as we put the things together and the people started coming in, I actually did have to deal with them. But, God is good in all his wisdom, because as much as I was saying no, he was saying, I need you to do this. It started out for her. As he kept pushing me to do things, it was for me, because he was stretching me and changing my mindset about me and can't do that, don't want to do that, and just taking me out of my element, to be honest. And that was then, and this is now. She can't get rid of me, and she tried to. She can tell me, you're not longer the vice president, you got part of the network. I'm going, really? You think so? Okay, watch. Because now it would take horses to drag me away. Because if I'm gone, that means she's gone and we don't have a network.
Right. Right.
So, and my boys, who she laugh about it all the time. They was like, you walked around here fussing about Nikki, get on my nerves. I'm not doing this. And da 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 da. And every time they turn around, they said, every time I turn around, you and Nikki on the phone.
We on the phone. We going somewhere.
Right. And I said, Dr. Nikki to you. Okay. So they've kind of gotten adjusted to it, but it has been such an amazing adventure.
It has.
And I've learned why God pushed me where he is, because we have all grown through this, but I can say that Dr. Nikki has grown tremendously.
Don't wear
because
that out now. Don't wear it out too much.
yeah, I'm gonna wear that out because it was a good thing. It was a positive thing, and it was a God-given thing for you to get to where you're going to be at. And I realized later down the road that one of the reasons that he kept pushing me to help her is because of me and my personality, and because of the fact that I say I don't do the messy Bessie. Because when you're starting a new network and you're meeting new people, everybody has distinct different personalities, and you want to make everybody happy and you want to how to have everybody gel, but it just doesn't happen. And my job was to somebody used to call me the hammer. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kay or either Carla used to call me the hammer. It's like, we just can't do this. We're not ready for this. And this is not where we need to be. And, and call out a spade is a spade. And when you came into the network, this is what we asked you to do. But we watched it grow. We've learned across the board. All of us have learned tremendously. We came up with procedures. We brought women in. Some have come, some have gone. Lessons have been learned. But where we are 5 years later is
Mm,
nothing but a phenomenon from God.
mm,
Because we've evolved into this network of love and sisterhood.
yes.
We've evolved into this network where we embrace each other. And it doesn't matter who you are, what your race is, as long as you are grounded and rooted in God, this is for you.
Mm,
We learn together, we cry together, we laugh together, we have a lot of fun, but most of all, we collaborate and we are supportive together. And for me, that was worth the ride.
wow. I think one thing I would say about us is that we really have learned how to collaborate.
Yeah.
And what I love about the network, it ain't about a cliquish. You know how you meet organizations and it's a click, click, and click, click. Listen, we ain't got time to click. Everybody brings something to the table.
Yep.
And what I love about the network is the authenticity, the genuineness. Let me see if I can get Apostle here now. See, we hear Apostle. Can you say some, Apostle?
Good evening, ladies.
Hey, Sugar
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good
Wugga!
evening.
Yes, come on here. But I think that, and I'm gonna let Michelle come in and tag team. I think, collaboration, no competition, man. Like, I've been a part of organizations where, it's a click here, click here, click everywhere. But I can honestly tell you with this network, it's not clickish. I mean, Apostle and Michelle live in St. Louis, Apostle live in California. They went and they went to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no who doing what. It's about
Right.
all of us coming together collectively to do the will of God. That's what I would say.
Yep.
Yep.
Michelle?
That's right. I went to go see my apostle in California. I sure did. I was not gonna be in California and not see her.
Come
That
on
wouldn't
now.
happen at all. But then, with the network, as Dr. House said, I don't do messy, and I don't do women, and I definitely don't do women messy.
I
But
understand that.
Here y'all go.
it was like, because sometimes through life experiences and you have certain experiences, right? But when I joined the network, it was the God thing, because I came in through the weapon room and I heard these women praying and they were serious. And people talk about social media and how it can be negative and things like that. And I was like, I'm curious. But God led me to the weapon room. And when I heard those women praying and praying for other people, I was like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. This is real right here. I was like,
And you can feel the realness, though. You can really feel the realness in the room. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I personally pray for. Like, God, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to do anything because we're responsible for what come out of our mouth. We're responsible for what come out of our you know, say out of our thoughts. We have to be mindful people coming in broken. And to be honest with y'all, I was broken. I started this network broken. I was jacked up from the flow up to the, so God will bless you in your mess. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't. I just knew what God told me. And I knew I had made so many mistakes in business and ministry. And I'm like, Lord, I need help. And I didn't have that. I didn't have that. So we have to be authentic in what our motives are. I want to yield to Apostle if she wants to talk. Hey, Jamila. Apostle, I yield to you.
Hey, ladies. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, this network has been sometimes you take a joyride. This has been a joyride because 5 years ago, I didn't think that this is something I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to elevate my business and got involved in this network and totally have found um, a piece of the puzzle in my life that has been missing for so many years. Genuine women who aren't afraid to voice their opinion when they need to, but they're there also to help you with a hand up if you need it. And the weapon room, which is really the foundational room of this network, is because it has allowed us to really put God first. And when we were able to put God first, everything else started to fall into place. Yeah, there've been, like sometimes you have to experiment with certain things in life. We've experimented. We've done a whole lot over these last 5 years. But baby, this girl is out of the corner and she is moving. this network, she's out of the corner and she's moving. And she's really starting to take on her own. And so, it's a place. It's a place for growth. It's a place for really soul searching. It's a place for really being a friend. And I have really, man, I won't trade this experience for nothing. The one thing I'm going to say is this. Before I came into the network, I was churched. I had churches. I was over churches. I was doing church, but I came into this network and really understood that the four walls was not where I was supposed to be. And I struggled for the first year in this network, still trying to pastor, And when God spoke to me and said, I've given you a balance between where you are in ministry and where I need to take you in business. And he has so cleverly blended them together that, man, look, she's at the corner, y'all. We're going somewhere.
I want to definitely give a shout out to one of our intercessors, Jamila Wildorf came and joined us. Let's definitely welcome Jamila finally to one of my shows. By the time she get on, y'all, I know she took a leap of faith to get up, but she said, Lord, let me get on here. Jamila, we're so happy to have you, one of our lead intercessors in the network. How has this journey been?
This journey for me, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So this journey for me, it has been life-changing. Not only life-changing, but it has changed my perspective as it relates to the marketplace in business. You can still do, we love God, we're Christians, we're believers, but you can still do ministry in the marketplace. It's helped me distinguish, like Apostle was just saying, outside of the four walls. I've learned how to navigate business, collide business with the kingdom of God, but at the same time, learning how to balance the two. So, this network has taught me so much. It has actually just given me stability, in all areas of my life. It's caused me to be accountable, consistent, all of the above. The sisterhood, just it's a lot. It's a lot. I can't even tell it all. It would take me a long time. But the sisterhood, learning how to navigate business, learning how to take business to the marketplace, but still be holy, still be righteous, and still be human at the same time. So, and I appreciate everybody, because everybody adds something to the puzzle. So that's my take.
I think I'll say for me, one thing I learned, the biggest takeaway over the last 5 years has been learning how to forgive and forget. I think out of all the things, because I feel like in order to run a business, on a personal side, if you can't forgive people, how you gonna do anything? Like in business, I'm saying, how do you, if you ain't forgiving in regular life, how you gonna really run a business the effective way if you hold on to what your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin, anybody did to you? Because I feel like on a business, if a customer do you wrong, you're gonna mishandle them because you haven't gotten that forgiveness. And I would say my biggest takeaway out of everything over the last 5 years is really taking that class that Apostle did, and it allowed me to forgive people who I know mishandled me, who I know I didn't deserve what I went through. And that class really freed me to be who I am today. I think that's if anybody wants to ask me what is my biggest takeaway of running this network, it would be the courses, it would be the prayers, it would be, taking classes that help me to get me together, because you can't run a business or do anything if you all jacked up. So I would say that's my biggest takeaway out of all the things that have happened running this network. Anybody want to say anything?
Let me just jump in there. I would say for me, commitment. In this
Yes.
network, I have learned to be committed. I don't care what time zone I may be in. I know that this is something that I have committed to. I'm going to do it meetings when we have meetings, whatever it is, I am committed. And I have learned to overcome procrastination and just do things. Just be committed to what you say you're going to do, show up and do it. So that's my biggest takeaway. I have really learned to be totally committed to something.
I'm just talking. Wow, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Apostle, for your share. Michelle, Dr. House, Jamila, what will be your takeaway?
From the network, for me, oh man, it's the relationships. It's being exposed, to the women. Sorry. It's being exposed to different women. We are every woman, I am her, she is me, right? But everybody brings something different, right, to the table, and everybody's had different experiences, but it's the way that we support each other and pray for each other, and that's unique. That's special. And I think now with the leadership that we have too, it's more mature, right? And
Right.
You have women who are gonna run, at the first sign of trouble. They gonna be there, they gonna stick with it, through thick and thin. And that's rare, to be able to have that. But the wisdom, the love, the love for God, the love for each other, and provoking each other, right? Provoking each other to be the best that we can possibly be, and to do the things that we really should be doing, and that we feel like, God has called us to do. That's what I love about the network.
Dr. House, she running her mouth, but she's muted. We can't hear you, baby. You want to jump in, Jamila, while she's trying to figure it out? Unmute yourself, Angela.
Sure.
There you go.
So my biggest takeaway would be, is she coming along, or you want me to talk?
Go ahead, Jamila. You're fine.
So my biggest takeaway is consistency. The consistency, it takes a lot to get up every single morning at 5:30 a.m. to be in the weapon room. And then on top of that, after the weapon room, 8 o'clock, we have the Christian Women in Business, or, the business, what is it?
Check in.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's consistency, being, like Queen Michelle said, being accountable, showing up even when it's hard. Life be lifing, but we understand that God is better than life. We've adopted that concept, that you got to keep moving.
Hallelujah.
Purpose or pain does not stop purpose. And the purpose in this season of our lives, and I'm going to say, I always say for the rest of my life, I'll always be connected because I'm grateful. I say, when we're in the weapon room all the time, God knew what I needed in this season of my life. He knew what I was going to be going through, and he placed me here for such a time as this. And so I needed it, and I didn't just need it. I need it for where I'm going. I need it for where I am. I need it all the way around. So when we come together, it's crazy. It is, I mean, like the presence, the power of God. It's not just in the weapon room. When you put God first, everything that's connected to the weapon room, it just spreads over. It just spreads over. So I'm just grateful. My takeaway is consistency. My takeaway is just being accountable and standing on business. That's my takeaway.
I like standing on business. Y'all know I love minding my business now. Mind the business that God has given you. That's what it's all about. Dr. House?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to say it's honesty and integrity, because we struggled in the beginning. And there was a lot of things that weren't the way they should have been. People weren't who we thought they were. But it's learning the value of being honest and having integrity to uphold the standards that you put in front of someone. Everybody can't reach the same standard, but you have to have the same value in order to understand what that vision is. And you have to be ethical, even sometimes when it hurts. Because we had a situation where we found out about their lifestyle. When I tell you, we were all upset because we love this person with a passion, but we have to be ethical and keep our standards together about what it is that we do. And we have to be honest. And that's one of the things that I learned at it. But for me, from a personal perspective, it was learning to have my purpose. It was about finding the vision that went with my purpose. It let me develop a clear vision to reflect on not only whose I am, what I am, but what I'm supposed to be doing for him and how I'm supposed to be effective in doing that and understanding that role. And we used to have, we still have the gym room, but everybody's gotten so busy with their lives and things and work and, corporate. So we don't get into it like it was. But one of the things that came out of that is a paper a session that I did. And it was called My Purposeful Life. Because not only did I get clarity in the vision, I know what my purpose is. Usually, Dr. Nikki and I get along so well because she said, I got this idea and we just run with it. That's what we used to do. It was like, whoop, yep, there we go. You know how they say, whoop, there it is. And we would run with it. But I've learned to slow down and listen. God gave me a vision. I didn't even know what I was supposed to do with it. But now I understand the purpose of what I'm supposed to do with it. But the one thing that he's been teaching me is listen. When I tell you that it is time, it will be time. So for me, That has probably been the ultimate takeaway, along with the integrity and the honesty. But knowing that this network, just like I found my vision and my vision had a purpose to it, that is the fundamental basics of what we do for everybody. He has all types of resources in this network. No one can come into this network and honestly say, nobody could help me. Because when I tell you there is somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody in this network that can help you with something that you need or something that you want. And if they're not in the network, we know who to go to outside the network and say, we need you to come in and do this. And that for me is monumental.
I think that's important. You know, everything that everyone has said tonight is how Angie say spot on. You know, I think it's important because if we don't know why we're here, then what are we doing? Right? You know, we got to be able to fight through. Because it was things that I didn't understand. I'll call Apostle and she'll say something like, man, yeah, that's what God told me. You know, confirmation on so many levels, man. I could say something or Jamala could pray something. I'm like, man, I was just about to pray for that. And Jamala would hit it right on the money. You know what I'm saying? Or I might have a thought and Michelle will come right on saying, God said this, and that. I'm like, God, dog, man, I'm about to throw the phone. Right? But I'm just telling you, the collaboration is so important. And I think, you know, you compare us, and I don't compare us because I feel like we're just unique. You know, we're not trying to be a sorority. We're not trying to be a organization like that. We're intentionally trying to make sure we do kingdom. Kingdom. That's the purpose of us even being here. It's for kingdom only. It ain't personal. It's kingdom. You know, and once we understood that, and once we set the people in place to carry this, you know, because I promise you, I'd have made 100 mistakes. It's been time where I was like, you know what, I give up. Man, come get this network. I done call Angie Snot Nose. I done call Apostle Snot Nose. I done call Michelle Snot. Like, I'm tired, you know. But the thing about it, we got to persevere. And that's one word I can say I've learned how to do. Persevere. And don't be so emotional. You know, I've learned how to really, you know, I still cry now. Don't throw no shade when I finish talking because I know y'all coming for me. But I'm not emotional. I'm emotional, but I'm not emotional ungodly. Can I say that? Is there even a word to say that? Because I used to be so emotional over any little thing. And now I'm learning how to just allow God to show up. So I'm going to let Apostle, y'all come throwing no shade now. This ain't no roasting Dr. Nikki now. Because all y'all capable of doing it.
That's okay, Dr. Nikki. Listen, there's good emotions and there's bad emotions. It's for you to really understand how to lean into which emotion at what time, the way it shows up. And the thing is that because of the foundation that this network is built upon, which it is God, Jesus the Christ, that we're doing what he says. He will lead, he will guide. And when we surrender to the leadership of God in the network, everything will fall into place. See, there was a time when we were seeking how to really hear from God, seeking how to really follow God. But now that we know and we've yielded to the Holy Spirit, that's why things are falling and coming into place. That's why he's taken us to the levels that he says he knows the plans that he has for us. So he knew the plan all the time. Had we come out in this network swinging and just being where we thought we would think we've done it ourselves, but because he is the one that is creating this network and we're allowing him to do it, the Holy Spirit is knitting everything together, putting everyone in place and in position, and let us not forget removing what does not fit, removing those that don't have the heart for the network. And sometimes it's difficult to see people go, but guess what? Whenever one leave, he sends three. And so I'm really understanding what God is doing and how he's doing it. And so being a part of this network is a center. It's a center for me. I mean, listen, y'all know really well. Y'all get up at 5:30. I get up at 3:30. And I am the second to the oldest one in this network. And I get up because I want to get up, not because I have to get up. And that's the difference about being a part of this network and seeing it flow in the way God has created it to flow.
That is true. Anybody else wants to expound? Jamila, Michelle?
But you know what? Even with the emotion, right? We all have emotions and we have to express them. And then sometimes we don't. And I think when you get emotional, Dr. Nikki, usually, it's something that's going on and it's, either the Holy Spirit, or something else. And so the big sister in me be like, okay, now look now, I need you to stop doing that. Cause you know what? You're going to have me fighting people. You're going to have me, over here fighting in the spirit, we got to decide, what is it going to be? But it's good though, because you're transparent. The thing I love too is that we're so transparent with each other, right? Because you don't get that, and it's hard. But I think when I come to the network, there's so much, and sometimes it might even be overwhelming for people. But God has given us the ability to be able to help anybody who has come through this network, right? But then there's a time and a season for people as well. Right. And everybody.
That's what I was going to say.
People are going to come and go. And the seasons change, and we just have to be prepared for that and just recognize and understand it and be okay with it. And when they leave, say, bless and release.
That's
bless
right.
And
now, Apostle, now, Angie, I got to tell the truth. I done got good at that now. Have I not gotten better?
You gotten good. Dr. Nikki back in the beginning would say, well, we need to talk now. I was going, let it go. Let it go. And she was emotional. She was emotionally reactive because her feelings were involved.
Yes, her feelings was on her sleeve.
Oh, yeah. And she
used to like y'all roasting me now.
Now we're not roasting you. And then they would tell me that I'm emotionally detached. Because they'd be like, you just don't care. It's not that I don't care. It's that everything, as you said, and that's one of my favorite things, Michelle, everything has a season.
Yeah, a time and a season.
A time and a season for everything. Summer turns to fall, fall turns to winter, winter turns to spring. Everything has the chance to be born, to grow up, to develop, and it dies, or it reproduces and keeps going. And we've been through multiple different seasons. And everybody that's in this network has a specific reason of the people that you have, like here, including Dr. Joe, and we're missing Queen Margie and Dr. Patricia, because everybody has a strength in a certain part of that season as they go through. And Apostle Alicia, she's going to stand back and she's going to give us what God is going to give her the direction. Me, I'm going to give you the discipline behind it. I'm going to be like, no, we don't tolerate this. And this is not why we're going to do this. And we shouldn't be doing this. And I can say that to Dr. Nikki, and Dr. Nikki is going to say, okay, but she's going to call Apostle, and Apostle's going to tell her the same thing I do in a wholly different connotation so that it makes more sense. Because sometimes I'm just straight and to the point. I'm a straight shooter. Apostle is going to put more of Jesus in it than Angie does. And I'm just going to say that because he has Angie built a little different. And everybody needs that type of person.
Right.
That's going to call a spade a spade. But in this network, we need to come back and we need to understand, what color is this spade? Is this a black spade? Is this a white spade? Is this a red spade? And we've got the network where we can collaborate to do it. And I don't get offended, but this is the basis of the issue that we have to deal with. And then we collaborate together to get to the next point. And right now, I think we're probably in one of the best places ever. And I know that as we expand, God is going to let it get better. But that better and better and better to come, it's hard to fathom that because we're in such a good spot right now.
Mm.
Oh, it can be so much better.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Yes, it can.
so
yeah.
much more to come,
Oh, yeah.
right? But the foundation had to be laid.
Woo!
You know? You have to lay the
part.
foundation.
That part. And that's what these first 5 years were.
I think so. I think it really has been. I mean, I can finally see just a little sun. I ain't say the whole sun now. I'm talking about peach. A peach's sun finally peeping through the cloud because boy, it was some rainy days. I'm talking about woo. But you know what? I thank God for the rainy days. Even this morning, we talked about night vision. And what God was showing me is that the symbolic way of night vision would be in that cocoon. You know how we as women, we are all of us, Jamala, Michelle, Dr. House, Dr. Alicia, we all have been in a cocoon where God had to put us in a dark place for us to be matured, for us to be developed. I think that cocoon was a network, and I'm like, you Dr. House, what Michelle saying, the foundation had to be slayed. You know what I'm saying? We had to give and take it. We had to change. I had to change. When God gave me the word, how bad do you want it? That was for me.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you want to serve me? How bad do you want to love me? How bad do you want to point people back to me? You know what I'm saying? And so that how bad do you want an ebook that I wrote had everything to do with me and my yes. You can't keep on throwing in the towel. Every time things get rough and the billows may roll out, your soul has to be anchored. It has to be anchored in God because this network has nothing to do with Dr. Nikki Zeigler, but everything to do with what God wants it to be. And if you don't change or if you don't stop complaining about the rough roads, I'm going to take it from you and give it to somebody who will do a better job than you. So what you going to do? How bad do you really want this? And I really had to regroup and reroute some things and change my mindset to crack my brain open to understand that if I don't handle my business, I'm going to see this network in somebody's hands who don't have the same passion I have, but they obey God, right? And so we got to be intentional with what God has for us. I yield to whoever want to speak. Jamala, Apostle Alicia, anybody want to
say? We're talking about emotions. If I just knew Dr. Nikki as being this type of person that never showed any emotion, I don't think I would be able to relate. I don't think I would be able to be as connected as I am, because a person has to see the real you. They can't always see this starch person, this straight face person. They need to see the different parts of you, because at some point in time, it's going to get stale. Is this how she is all the time? So I think if I didn't see, different emotions, it would be hard for me. But we were talking about, the foundation. I think Michelle said it. Queen Michelle, she said something about the foundation. All of that stuff had to be broken up in order for things to grow. When it comes to flowers and planting, all of that stuff got to be broken up. It's got to be tilled up. Like when my dad does his garden every year, he has to get out there and till that ground. And, in order for anything to grow, in order for anything to expand, things have to be broken up. People have to leave. You have to hurt by it. I mean, you're hurt by it, but at the same time, like Apostle just said, one leave, three more come. And you don't have to worry about, a lot of stuff, because now that the foundation is right, you don't have to worry about somebody going to them saying blah, 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 So I think that, as we all said, because I was like, when I first came, I was like, God, you said do what now? But he told me to stick with it. because you don't, the end of a thing is better than that of the beginning. So you can't look at
That's good.
you know, you have to look at things from, like I say all the time, different perspectives. Just because it's one way when you come in, because what do we say all the time? We shift atmospheres. We shift them. We don't come in for things to stay the same. We shift them. We come in for people to be changed, for lives to be transformed. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And so you know, God had to, but he had to change my perspective, change the way I see things, because I ain't always been like this, you know. Like I said, there's so much I've learned since I've been here, since I've went through the divorce, since I've went through the hurt and the struggles and all of that. I've learned it. Lord Jesus, I've learned it. I've learned you got to persevere. I wanted to stop so bad when I was going through my divorce, when I was going through everything that I was going through. I was like, God, I just can't do it. And the Lord told me, no, keep moving. Even when you're hurting, you got to keep moving, because that's where the enemy hits you the most. You ain't doing nothing. Oh, he gonna really break it down on you.
Come on now.
To your mind, he gonna be telling you, you know you shouldn't be in there doing prayer, and you going through this and going through that. Why not? Jesus didn't stop, did he? Y'all know I always talk about Jesus. He didn't
you
stop.
know what told Jamila? Leading while you bleeding.
Absolutely. You gotta keep moving. You can't stop. You know what? If you know, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine Apostle not being in the network. You know, she go through stuff all the time. I can't imagine not having Dr. Nikki in my life. I can't imagine not having Dr. Angela. I can't imagine not having Queen Michelle part of my life now. Because when God puts people in your life, it is to help you grow from level to level, from faith to faith, from glory to glory. So I'm just forever grateful. I'm just so forever grateful. Let me stop talking, because y'all know I get to talking.
No, you know I love it. But the better thing about it,
I think one of the things that has happened in the network is we started to create boundaries. We really started to create boundaries and expectation for the network. When we were just existing and trying to build without boundaries, things were not in its proper place and proper perspective to match where we wanted to go. But once we were able to do that, and see, we had personal boundaries. Most of us had personal boundaries, but we did not have network boundaries. And once that was implemented and things started to shift to accommodate the boundaries, when they were policies and procedures, when you started to say there is a department, when we never come in to any of those rooms without properly addressing leadership. And so when we acknowledge and we put perspective of boundaries into place, that's when shift in the right direction started to grow in this network.
But you know what, Apostle, I got to say this to you. I'm going to piggyback with you first. I'm going to come back to Jamila. When you told me to have the conversations with everyone that was at my table, that's when my boundaries started. You said, who are your people? Have the conversations with your people and set boundaries on what your expectations are for everyone that's a part of your life. And I got a pen, I got a pencil, and I got a notepad, because Dr. Connie came in the room that year and she said, stop writing with pens and start writing with pencils.
Yes.
And I took that notepad, I began to lay down the foundation of the people that I needed in my life for me to function effectively as a leader. And once I started listing these people, I started picking the phone call and started calling people who I know I needed in my life. And for those I did not call, they became associates. They didn't become people who I
Yes.
needed. You know what I'm saying? What how can I do the network without Michelle? How can I do the network without Jamila? How can I do the network without Angela? People who I know I needed them in my space because accountability is everything. And a lot of women, the reason why they're not where I feel God, the reason why they're not where they should be at is because they don't want no accountability. They don't want to have tough conversations. They don't want to be clear on what they need. They want to have these titles and look good on paper, but they're not willing to work for the relationships. And the moment you cross them, the moment you say something they don't want to hear, they took their tails and they left the network because they did not want to be spoken wrong of. And that's when life changed for me. I said, if I can't correct you, if I can't come tell you, sis, you need your LLC, sis, where your stuff at, then maybe this ain't for you. And then I would end up backing up from the person and call Apostle and say, hey, Apostle, you might want to call this person. Or, hey, Angela, won't you talk to that person because maybe I'm not the one for them. And I was always okay with that. They could be a part of the network and I don't have to talk to them. Because it's not about me. It's about us, Weasels, us coming together. And I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. So if you don't want to hear me minister on Mondays, then come, thank you, baby. Then come on Tuesdays and hear Queen Marjorie. Or if you don't want to hear Queen Marjorie, you can always come on Wednesday or even come on Sundays and hear Jamila. Everybody brings some different. I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that, y'all. I ain't used to be okay with that, but I can honestly tell you tonight on March 31st, 2025, I'm okay for not being for everybody. I'm okay with that. You know, but then another thing I want to say is even with Jamila, like you really helped me when you say checks in the mail and contracts and doors. When you began claiming that for the whole network, I began to walk through the door like, oh yeah, I'm about to get this check. I'm about to get this contract. I'm about to build these relationships. You know, you start speaking it into the room and you don't know how many people mindset you shift when you start saying that on a weekly basis. All I have. Anybody want to speak?
You know what, Dr. Nikki, what you're saying is so true. The other day I was feeling some type of way, just kind of, going on about my daily business, but I had a death in my family and different things like that. Apostle called me out of the blue, just out of the blue. I'm like, what, Apostle? I'm like, oh Lord, what I done did now. So I'm looking at the phone like, what? And all she asked me was, are you going to keep moving? You can't get stagnant because of what's going on in your life. And I got off that phone and I cried because I said, God, you have some people that truly love me for me. There's some people that truly have my best interest at heart and they want to see me win. But what if I wasn't a part of the network? I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have got that. That changed my whole life. Apostle is the only one that can call me Jam Jam. She don't know it's prophetic. She the only one that can call me Jam Jam. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. I'm just, and the times that, Dr. Nikki B, y'all, I know when she talking to me. I know I said she talking to me. She referring to me. And I just be like, God, I know she getting frustrated. I know. But I promise you, like I tell her all the time, she gonna look up and she gonna be like, it was worth it all. It was, because some days I just be like, Lord Jesus, I know.
Oh, and you know what, Jamila, she came in the room. What? I don't know what day was that. I don't know if it was, what day did you come back in the room after vacation?
That was Saturday, wasn't it? Wasn't it Saturday she came in the room?
No, it was
Thursday. It was Thursday. It was after Tori spoke. Yes.
Girl, she came in that room prophesying. And I hate when she do that because I'll be like, you know what? She needs to go on and quit. Oh, she was talking, but it went another way. But remember, she was saying you got too many things going on. You got too many. And I was like, that's me. And I'm going to let some things go because I need to focus on my business. Yes. Okay.
That's right. But Michelle, Jamila had this wall though. Woo! It was many nights that I told Jeremiah, I said, we got to pray for Jamila. Because she have this wall. And she knows she had one. And I said, Lord, please just convict her. Just let her know she got to let this wall down. Because so many people that need Jamila. She don't understand how many curses that she have broken in this network with her prayers. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
So
why
many
we have to change our mindset, right? You got to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset, your belief system. God has you in this network because you bless everybody that come in contact with you.
Woo!
So when you doing stuff and you doing God stuff, you cannot deny it.
Come on.
You cannot. No matter how hard you try.
Nope. Don't start, Michelle. I ain't finna be crying on here. I gotta be gangster. Don't do it.
Did she say gangster?
Yeah, she did.
There's only one gangster in our network, and that's Apostle Vicky.
Okay, and that's Apostle Vicky. My gangster in the gospel. Quit playing. That's my gangster in the gospel. She come in swinging. She do not be playing. Oh no, that's Glenda. That's my thriller from Manila. She come in swinging too. Yeah.
These names that Michelle be calling for. Michelle got a name for everybody.
Look, they be serious. They do not be playing. They are straight up all about God. So, Jamila.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the love that is really in that network, because I just popped up here. I saw myself standing in front of this car. I don't even know who put me in front of this car in this wonderful, beautiful gown. I remember my first trip that I took with the network. See, we're not just an app. We do things together. We show love. We meet each other. And when I went to Destin, Florida, I was kind of like, okay, let me see what they're going to be doing down here, talking about baptism. And let me see if they're really, really going to be about what they're doing. And it's the same way off the app in person. And I remember I showed Dr. Angela my gown, I think, or I said something about the gown that I was going to wear. She says, wait a minute, Sissy. And she called me Sissy. And she said, I have the gown for you. I put on that gown and I took her name. I looked like a brick house. I was so excited. And it didn't happen once. It happened twice. I got stuff in the mail. I went to Alabama. My gown couldn't fit. Dr. Nikki brought me 3 gowns. The love that is exhibited in here. People like Jamila's going to say, I just get in people inboxes. I call because I know my responsibility as the apostle of the network. And one of the things is I'm going to show love. Why? Because I came into this network and found a love that I did not know existed among women. I didn't know it existed. And with that, when someone can take off of their back and give to you, I mean, there are times I look up, I might find somebody will send me a cash app. Go get this, go get that. The love, because we have lost people in this network as well through death. See, and so it's so important for us to show each other the love. It's about business. Yes, it's about all of this, but it is such a personal thing for us that we have really found a sisterhood, a place where we know that people genuinely love you. Dr. Nikki made a promise to me, and I don't worry anymore. I don't worry anymore because I know she's going to keep that promise to me. And so, and it was out of love. And so the greatest commandment, y'all know I'm going to go back to the word anyway, it's love. And so when we are showing love in this network, it has to spread. And we're getting ready to spread it with the Gideon 300 because we can't keep all of this for ourselves. Let me stop, Roboshike. So it's love. I feel the love in this network.
You
Sister
know,
Dr. Angela, I love you. I thank
I
you.
love you too. You know that. I love everybody in this network, even
yes,
the ones that I don't know well. You have to,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they're here for a reason, and you have to love them.
yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. When the ones that don't have that, the motor don't be right, boy, they don't stay too long, baby. You
They
get
don't stay long. They don't stay long. You know what? I will say this, talking about love. When I first came to the network, I think I had been here maybe 5 months, maybe. We were going to Texas. What was that? What was it, Dr. Nikki? The strong
Dallas.
Her
The
experience
her
experience.
experience.
in Dallas, the first one.
Yeah, the network paid for my airplane ticket. They paid for my hotel room, everything. I cried for days and days and days. Man, listen, Lord have mercy. I still think about that to this day.
Wow, I forgot.
Yeah, and you know, and Dr. Nikki was like, God told me we gonna do this. And I just cried. I wasn't even expecting it. I hadn't talked to anybody. I was just gonna do what I had to do. But when you do things, when you do what God tell you to do, when I joined this network, I tell it all the time. I said, you know, I knew what I needed to do, you know, but at the time, you know, I was with someone, and you know, I couldn't just take my money. It wasn't just my money. You know, I had to, you know, be accountable. I had to, you know, be submissive. So what I did was I Instacarted. To get that money. I Instacarted, and I did it. You know, and when you are obedient to do what God is calling you to do, God gonna bless you abundantly above, you know, exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think. But that's what love does. Love just blesses you beyond measures. And I'll never forget it, ever. I'll never forget that. Never, never, ever.
Wow. Well, all right, we're wrapping up, guys. Anybody else have anything they would like to say?
Just cheers to the next 5 years.
Yes, cheers to the next 40, 50 years, 100 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 5 at a
The
time.
best is yet to come.
Yeah, to Chloe's generation.
And we standing on business. We standing on business.
God's business. God's business.
Kingdom business. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming in and getting me out this rut, because I was like, Lord, what am I gonna do? I see, you know what? Let me call my girls. Somebody gonna show up for me. Y'all came right in the nick of time. And it was perfect that we ended the night like this. Because y'all already know tomorrow it's a whole new month. So y'all want to go ahead and get ready.
Yeah.
You're gonna be sick of her next month.
Oh, y'all got prepare.
You know the whole month. Her birthday month.
The whole month.
The whole month, man. Tomorrow I'm going. Listen, I'm coming in doing a Roblox. I'm coming in doing a Roblox.
I'm gonna send you a card.
Oh, look, I'm gonna do like my Patricia. Ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping.
Oh
If
my
she was in
goodness.
here, she'll start dancing. She already know we had so much fun in leadership. She's like, ain't no stopping. Everybody start saying it together. We not stopping. Listen, we not begging. We believe in 2025 is our season. Listen, I got 100 reasons. So thank y'all for stopping through. Y'all welcome to come anytime. Listen, the best is still yet to come. You ain't seen nothing. I believe that. I'm sorry.
Amen.
I think that's my signature, y'all. The best is still yet to come.
Yes.
In the name of Jesus. So thank y'all for stopping by. I love y'all so much. And guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yes. Shout out to all those herpreneurs that are on here watching. We love you guys. Thank you all for stopping by.
Yes. All right, Takima, take us home. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, ladies. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
What she said she doing? Hit it.